So now, I think it's always helpful to hear from actual customers and partners. You hear from us at Cisco, clearly we're excited about what we're doing, but I think we have a great opportunity to have a conversation with an outside expert. And my honor and privilege to invite Jacques Roucard from Telindus up to the stage. And we have a few minutes to talk about what all of this means from Telindus' perspective. Thanks for joining us here. I guess my first question for you is if you could maybe tell us a little bit about Telindus in Luxembourg and your role, so the audience has a context.
Okay, so Telindus is a company that operates out of Luxembourg. We belong to the Proximus group of companies, and we are a long-term Cisco partner for over 20 years. What we do is system integration. We are also a cloud operator, and we are a telecom provider. And my role inside Telindus is I'm in charge of solutions, pre-sales, and innovation.
It's fantastic. So, we talk about multi-cloud. Do you see that in your view of the market and with your customers, and is that an important factor?
Absolutely, yeah. We have been operating our private cloud now since 2011, so quite a long time. We have been using Cisco technology at the basis, meaning we are offering our cloud based on a FlexPod platform. And when we did that, that was a logical extension at the time of our outsourcing practice. So beyond just outsourcing, and sending people managing the infrastructure on-prem to our customers, starting 2011, we could do it really in a data center with Cisco technology. Now we want to take it to the next level because we see a clear drive towards a multi-cloud world, and we want to use the same kind of approach, meaning a good governance in a strongly regulated market, with proven technology to offer business outcomes to our customers.
Yeah, no, I think it's very interesting to see kind of the intersection of the regulatory environment that you have to operate in and some of the developments in cloud. I guess we were also talking a little bit about abstraction.
Yes. Well, let me take one step back and say a few words about regulation. Regulation is for many people, including the large cloud providers, a pain. We consider it more as a gain or as an enabler. And I will tell you why, just in a few words, without boring you with regulation. But if you look what's happening on a European level, the European Banking Authority has issued some recommendations on how a bank can move workloads to the cloud. And I will give you just a couple of things that are really important there. For example, the recommendations of the EBA say clearly you need to be in control of the risk. You need to know what happens to your data. And last but not least, you need to have an exit strategy. Exit strategy means if for some reason you're obliged to get out of the public cloud and you need to move back to your private infrastructure or to another cloud, you need to be able to demonstrate that. And that is something where we believe that Cisco technology and trusted partners like ourselves can help our customers a lot. And Cisco has proven also that they can give a good experience of a public cloud type of setup in a private data center. And this is something we believe in because if we talk to our customers, mainly banking customers, what they all want is the features of a public cloud in a private environment. And I think with the Cisco Container Platform and the Cisco Hybrid Cloud Platform, we are in the right direction there together. But what I always say, this is some abstraction layer, that we can now demonstrate and implement in a private data center, meaning the container abstraction layer. So the question to Kip would be, what is Cisco planning in that space? Do you want to move up the abstraction layers further so that the customer can have a full public cloud experience in a private data center?
No, it's a great question. It's interesting. I would say I'm seeing good abstraction and bad abstraction in cloud these days. The good abstractions are things like, frankly, Kubernetes, that abstract the way orchestration works and provides the opportunity for application developers to write software that runs in different environments and takes advantage of the native capabilities in whichever environment it's running in. Some of the abstraction that we're seeing work out not as well for a lot of customers is when people try to homogenize the entire cloud and try to abstract everything away because we see people getting stuck on kind of a lowest common denominator where they can't take advantage of the innovation or the unique capabilities in each cloud. One of the things I think that we're seeing that helps with the challenge you mentioned about providing all the services in a private on-prem context and that are in a public context is people not only starting to abstract things, but starting to implement things like service meshes. You know, Istio, I think, is a prominent example of this. And it feeds into one of the trends I talked about earlier in terms of how you interface with existing applications. And we're seeing people providing many services on-prem, but providing the connectors to be able to call services in the public cloud, even from an on-prem workload when they need to, and vice versa, being able to develop an application in the public cloud and seamlessly call a capability on-prem. So I think there's good and bad abstractions. Good ones give you portability, but still access to native capabilities, as well as service mesh starting to really connect those two environments. So we don't necessarily need to implement every function in both environments, but the two environments start to work together as a system. I guess we're running out of time. I guess my last question for you is, what do you see going forward as you look out into 2019 and beyond?
When we talk to our customers, again, mainly out of the banking sector, even the most conservative ones are now thinking about moving some stuff to the public cloud. Some of the banking managers tell me, well, I want to move everything into the cloud. Then I have a tendency to respond, let's first look at your application landscape, and then we'll try to guide you, towards the best possible solution. And I don't believe the world is becoming simpler. I think it's becoming more complicated. And in that sense, if a bank or any other institution decides to go to the cloud, I think they need trust and security, and they need orientation. And I think Cisco with the technology and us as a trusted partner are the right people to help our customers to get the right business outcomes out of the hybrid cloud.
No, we're seeing, like I said, we're seeing a lot of customers looking for help. This is a complex environment, so yes. I agree with that.
Okay.
Thank you again for joining us today. I really appreciate your insights. So I'm